You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why U.S. Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from U.S. Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started.
You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Well, we have something a little different for you. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com/sportsfan to download America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 plus and present in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, permitted parishes only, Massachusetts, Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, or Wyoming. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia, or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York, or visit oasas.ny.gov/gambling. Standard text messaging rates apply. Sports betting is void in Georgia, Hawaii, Utah, and other states where prohibited.
All right, Tim, next. The guy who caught that pass, obviously, Jayden Reed. We're going to talk about him here in a second. I want to get to a little Edgerrin Cooper talk, if that's all right with you. We kind of led off with it a touch. I think Edgerrin Cooper has the opportunity to be, or the ability, I should say, to be an absolute dog in this league. You guys know I was hesitant on him. He was my third best linebacker on my board because he just really did it 1 year. You know, but that last year in college, man, it was historical type numbers. You know, when they were talking about it in terms of the PFF grade. And then he goes to the combine and absolutely shreds it, rips it up. I think Edgerrin Cooper is everything they expected Quay to be. I really believe that. I think he's got a little more instinct than Quay. The question is, how are they going to work together? And I think as it sits right now, get Edgerrin Cooper on the field as your will backer and let Quay play Mike, right? That's the way I see it at the moment. Now, here's what LaFleur said. Matt Schneidman tweeted this out. Said, Matt LaFleur on rookie second-round linebacker Edgerrin Cooper. Quote, I would anticipate him getting more time moving forward. Wasn't perfect on Friday, LaFleur said, but they obviously see things they like. And again, when you go back and watch the tape, Tim, special teams and everything, I'm going to share the screen again here. I'm not going to go full screen because I don't want to risk anything here with the channel. But you should be able to see these, and I'll zoom in enough. And we'll play them one at a time. This upper left here is him on defense. You're going to see him come in. I think this is the play. He flies in on a blitz. Look how quick he's back, bats the ball down. Wow. Like that is, I mean, again, watch how quick, upper left. Bang.
Look how quick he roasted that blocker. I mean, that guy had no chance of blocking.
So fast. Yeah. So fast, dude. That's that elite athleticism we're talking about. So there's a play. Now let's go to the upper right here. And this is this the shoestring tackle. So he's going to be playing outside linebacker. Okay. So look out here, right here. Okay. That's where he's going to be. Okay. So he's playing in this set right here. It's hard to tell. No, so it's strong left. So he's actually playing will on this play right now. Okay. And this is where it gets a little interesting because I believe that may be a DB right here. I'm not 100% sure, but you got Quay in there. It's probably a nickel set, I would imagine. So Quay is over the tight end. He's playing the Mike. And then, of course, you've got our boy Edgerrin Cooper playing Will. Okay. So watch him, how quickly he gets in and reads and recognizes this run play. And you can see with the front they're playing, they're going to try to run this zone right play is what it looks like to me. Okay. I don't think anybody's pulling here. Watch him get in there and make the play. Watch how quick he diagnoses it.
Wow.
Bang.
Wow.
Right. So, no, he wasn't at the edge. I apologize. He wasn't on the line of scrimmage. He was actually playing stack backer. So he is back here, right here. There's your Will. Sorry. Look at this. Bang.
Yep.
And there's no – remember we talked about it, start, stop, shoot, start, stop, shoot. Watch him. Shift over, start, stop, shoot. Bang. You're in. He just – there's no hesitation in his game whatsoever, man.
Yeah, I mean, and to see this kind of FBI in a rookie is, that's I don't want to throw the word generational talent out there, too loosely, but that's certainly a positive. I mean, this guy's a rookie and he's seeing the game so well. And then you combine that with the athletic ability. Yeah, this guy's going to be starting very soon. We may see a change coming as soon as this week. You never know.
And when you're talking FBI, he knows, he recognizes this is a TE stunt, okay? So the tackle is going to engage, and you're going to see Gary loop around. So what that tells is once the motion comes over, Edgerrin Cooper has the C gap. So he's got to get out here in this C gap. And again, there's just no hesitation. And that's the big difference between him and Quay is a little jumpy, a little hesitant at the point of attack. Edgerrin Cooper isn't. So let's move on to the next play down here and see if I can get it keyed up here. I think I can. Maybe. I don't know if we can get any further. We'll probably have to leave it right there. So I tried to zoom in on this play. This is the run fit responsibilities we're talking about, okay? So you'll notice Edgerrin Cooper's right here, okay? So once again, in this set here now, if you look, he's actually playing Mike as opposed to Will. Now, it's probably because of the specific play call, and that's what I was talking about, how they can be somewhat interchangeable when it comes to a nickel defense. But watch him fill this gap. This is going to be a run right into, I believe it's that B gap. It's either the A or the B gap. You'll see Gary kick in and attack the point or jump on the point of attack. But watch our boy Edgerrin Cooper fill and finish right here, man. And again, start, stop, shoot. Watch this. Start, stop, shoot, bang. Beautiful run stop.
If he's late getting over there, that's another 5 yards.
Absolutely.
Right up the gut. Yep.
And again, not avoiding this is a rookie, not avoiding confrontation either. Bang, he's putting his hat on a hat, getting in there and doing the dirty work, man.
Great job by Rashawn too, but
yes,
we say that every time, so it's nothing new for Rashawn Gary to do his job. So, but no, that's a great play.
Very unselfish of Gary too. If you'll notice too, he takes on two blockers and he knows he's got to do it. Watch him. He's going to jump to the inside shoulder and take on the second blocker, get hands on both of them. That frees up Coop. That keeps Coop clean to make the play. So there's another example. All right, let's move on to the next play. This is kickoff. This is really exciting. Right here is Edgerrin Cooper, okay? On this kickoff, I want you to watch him shed the first block, and the way he sheds it, he does kind of a speed dip. He just kind of dips under, uses his quickness, and then he gets to the second blocker, sheds that block, and makes the tackle. Watch this. Kind of hard to see. I know it's small screen here, but watch. See him dip, shed that one, bang, tackle. It's just, I'm telling you, man, every bit of tape he put, I don't want to say every bit, but 90% of the tape he put out there on Friday night was like this. That's why I'm saying it's a small sample size, and I'm not ready to anoint him. But I'll tell you what, he has earned more playing time.
Yep.
Get that dude at least 50% of the snaps at will this Sunday. You got, and you know what? He may take a step back, and you know what you do, Tim? You take a step back. If he plays absolutely horrible, which I don't think he can play worse than some of the others, to be honest with you, but if he plays bad, you take a step back, you tone the snaps back, you hit the film room, and you get better, right?
Yep.
But he showed enough already, and he's healthy. That's the main thing now. We know he's healthy. Get his butt out there, man, and let's get him on the field. Because, again, he was the highest-graded defensive player for the Packers. So, any other thoughts on Edgerrin? Go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I mean, if we're seeing it, they're seeing it on the film. And willing to be that guy, whether it's special teams or whether it's, crucial plays, in the game, he's executing. You can't take anything away from that. And that's what rookies have to do to see the field, right? You got to make these little plays and you got to be consistent and show that you belong. And I think you hit it on the head, man. I think he deserves more snaps. So, there's a chance we probably see a little less McDuffie or a little less of Eric Wilson, and you start to see Edgerrin Cooper peppered in a little bit more, like I said, as early as this weekend, possibly. But he's definitely going to be a major part of this defense going forward. I think he's one of those pieces that you've got in place and you're going to certainly build around. Seeing him and Quay on the field at the same time brings me joy. I think they just got to get that right collaboration of linebackers there. And we'll have a really nice unit in the middle for sure with Cooper.
Yeah, definitely. Allison, thank you so much for the super chat. Allison said, I like Jacobs and player as a team, like brothers fight together. Thank you so much for the super chat. Josh Jacobs, Tim, I know a lot of people were kind of down on Josh Jacobs. I want to say his average over expected, which is a really cool metric. And I think Ryan actually hit on it earlier this morning too, listening to his pod. Of the 4 games that have been played, he was leading the league in that. Now, I doubt he's leading the league now, but based off of what he had, what was provided to him in terms of blocking, I thought Josh Jacobs played really well. I think he finished over 5 yards a carry. And early on, it was ugly, man. That dude was getting hit in the backfield. Everything was getting spilled. It was real bad. Emmanuel Wilson dancing out there making things happen. Listen, Emmanuel Wilson had a better game than Josh Jacobs. There's no two ways about it. But you've also got to take into consideration, all right, when did Emmanuel Wilson come in? What was the situation? What was the score at the time? Because early on, you're trying to establish the run. Well, guess what? The defense is really keying in on that run. I thought Josh Jacobs turned out to be a pretty good performance. And I like what Allison said there too, as far as, a player as a team, like brothers fight together. Dude, you get a teammate like Josh Jacobs, who's been a team captain, and notice nobody was pointing fingers. Yeah. Like this team, I'm telling you, they're going to get better from this. Young teams they're going to grow from this type of stuff, man, no doubt. But What did you think of Josh Jacobs on Friday night?
I agree. I think that it was a rough start. It almost looked like, like Jacob had a great point. He was talking about, oh God, it looks like AJ Dillon in that Broncos preseason game, right? Just running into brick walls. It was not a great start, but through the progression of the game, you started to see him settle in and start to make plays. And yeah, lo and behold, the line started blocking a little bit. You give that guy a little bit of a block, even halfway do your job there on that O line, and Josh Jacobs is going to make something happen. Again, he's a major threat in the pass game. I would look for that this weekend. If we got Malik Willis under center, look for a lot of those screens and leaks. Get the ball to Jacobs early in space and, get him a lead blocker out there. Maybe we got Tuck Norris out there blocking and see what he does. He's a dynamic player. And I think the more touches you give a guy like that, the more potential you have for success. If you get away from him because he struggles early in the ball game, or your line is struggling to hit their blocks and your run production's not where you want it to be, if you shy away from that, you're doing yourself a disservice. Jacobs is a workhorse. He's one of those guys that, you got to just feed him the rock and let him go out there and make plays for you. So I have no complaints whatsoever about Josh Jacobs. He had a little bit of a slow start. That's about it. I think he finished the game strong, nearly 100 yards on the ground when it was all said and done. And, I look forward to seeing him carry the ball, for future games to come for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Jay Cole in the chat. What's up, buddy? He says, I'm telling you, expect $150 this week from JJ. Talking about Josh Jacobs. I could see it, man. They're going to build that game plan around him and Emmanuel Wilson. There's no two ways about that.
I love it.
And here's another one too, Jayden Reed. You want to help that running game, Tim?
Oh, yeah.
Every defensive coordinator, they're going to go watch that Eagles game and go, all right, when they put that bird in motion, when number 11 goes in motion, you better key in on him. Well, guess what that does? You fake that little pop pass, or you fake the jet sweep and then hand off to the running back. You get hesitation and you get linebackers and safety shifting. That gives you enough space to run that outside zone opposite of the motion.
That's all Jacobs needs too, right?
Yes.
Josh Jacobs is so good. I mean, if you freeze for a second, you're beat. It's over with. And You're right, Clayton. I hope they run that. I really do. I'd love to see. I'd love to see Bird in the motions and even if it's cheat motion running a route or if it's just the deceptive yo-yo or orbit motion here and there, and just keep that defense on their toes, and then we set up our complementary players and we'll find success. There are ways to win ball games by utilizing your run game like this, and I think we're going to see it on Sunday. I really do.
Yeah, I do too, man. I'm excited to see how they show up for sure. Omer, let me start with this one. Said Jacobs made his yards on 2 big runs, 30-plus and 20-plus. Huge explosive plays. And again, when we say he started slow, he was getting hammered in the backfield. I'm talking about it was like 6 carries for 7 yards or something. And he ends up finishing over 5 yards a carry. Tells me all I need to know about him.
Yeah, and if anything on those plays like that, he didn't lose yardage. A lot of times your line gets blown up. You get a running back that's like getting happy feet back there, and you end up losing 3 or 4 or 5 yards on some of these plays. I mean, if anything, it was no gain, or it was a half a yard or forward momentum. Proving that Jacobs is who we thought he was, which is a great running back, and he's going to keep his pad level right, and he's going to keep his legs moving even if he's under duress. So. You give this guy an opportunity, like I said, 1 or 2 guys doing their job on that offensive line. That's all it's going to take. Yeah,
absolutely. And he also, Omer also said 2 catches for 20 yards, 2 for Jacobs. So obviously playing a role there in the passing game. He went on to say Jacobs is the center of this offense until Love is back. I completely agree. 2-0 for this says Jacobs will pick it up. He's far from washed. Emmanuel Wilson deserves more touches, though. Completely agree. Emmanuel Wilson needs to be running back 2 all damn year. And they need to stop trying to find reasons for him not to be running back 2, because it kind of felt like that. I know he got hurt last year, but it just kind of felt like he's having to prove it, and he's set back, prove it, set back. Get that dude the ball, man. When you get the ball in his hands, good things happen. I was trying to curb the enthusiasm because it was preseason last year, Tim. And then I heard former Packer running back, Wisconsin Badger running back Gary Ellerson talk about it. He said, what that kid did when he bounced that run out, that's not normal. That's what Gary Ellerson said. And I'm like, all right, this dude's played running back at the NFL level. He sees something, obviously, that I don't. And my whole thing is I don't want to be that fanboy that turns into another Jeff Janis 2.0. This dude's great in the preseason. What are we doing? He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But when I heard Gary Ellerson say that, man, it really perked my ears up, because when former players talk about that stuff, man, I shut the hell up and listen. And you got to.
Yep. And Wilson looks like, to me, like a hybrid. He looks like a hybrid between, like a power back, your traditional power back, and then a guy that's like, I know it's going to hurt, but like, an Aaron Jones type, a slippery, right, elusive type of guy, light on his feet. He can catch the ball in the pass game, not afraid to go out there and throw his body in front of a lineman and make a block, or at least get in the way in the pass game or pass pro. Emmanuel Wilson slowly but surely is creeping up that list of guys that are complete backs. He's a complete running back. And I agree, we need to utilize him more, because that guy is an explosive play waiting to happen at any moment.
US Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why US Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from US Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started. Kick off the 2024 football season with Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. It's the easiest way to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. This September, get automatic win every week by picking Caleb Williams to get just 1 passing yard. That's right, 4 weeks of free wins, but only if you jump on it before September ends. And don't forget, you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks even has injury insurance, so if your player leaves the game early, you're still in the game. I've been loving Prize Picks, my go-to for simple, fast, and fun fantasy action. When my picks hit, I get paid in as little as 15 minutes. Download Prize Picks now and use code PACKDADDY to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code PACKDADDY for $50 guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Remember, Prize Picks is a skill-based fantasy game, making your lineups just got a whole lot more exciting.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Jarrell Lee in the chat. Good to see you, buddy. He says, love our defense. We only played against the best running back in football, Saquon, 1A, Christian, 1B. Love Josh Jacobs. So, yeah, I mean, Saquon he's a monster, man. And that wheel route, that catch and toe tap, when you watch that tape back, it was a mismatch. Don't get me wrong. Isaiah McDuffie, and when you play man coverage, this is what you're going to get. It's going to happen. There's no avoiding it, right?
Yep.
But
and McDuffie played that the best he possibly could. He played the absolute best he possibly could.
Based off the pre-snap motion, him having to shift, he had to shift, cover his gap, bang, get back out on the wheel. I mean, when you freeze frame it, we freeze framed it on Chalk Talk. Tim, his hand was within like 6 inches of the ball.
Yep.
Like, it was a perfect throw. We talked about Jalen Hurts' accuracy. And Saquon, man, getting his feet in. First time through live shot, I thought incomplete. And they wrote, I went, oh, come on, there ain't no way get. And they played it back one time. I went, holy hell, how did he get his feet in bounds? Man, he's just a dog. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he's clearly in a better situation here. That's why he went and signed with Philly. You know, this was the team he needed to be in. You know, we're unfortunately for the rest of the NFC, you know, us Packer fans included, Saquon is in a good situation now, and I anticipate seeing more and more weeks like this out of him throughout the season, because he is. You talk about complete running backs. There's another one right there. Absolutely.
Yeah. J. Cole says in the chat, the Colts were horrible against the run this weekend. So we'll kind of dive into that as we get a little later in the week. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we're going to basically start to jump into all the Colts information. All right, where are their strengths? Where are their weaknesses? What kind of defense do they like to run? What's their offensive scheme look like? All that stuff. I think that Anthony Richardson is going to give you an opportunity or two to create turnovers. I really believe that. This is just on the surface. I haven't dug too much into their defense yet, but if their defense is bad against the run, you go run heavy and run some of that boot action off of it with a really, really fast Malik Willis. And I think you've got the foundations for a decent game plan to try to steal a win there at Lambeau as Jordan heals up. Because if you can somehow, some way win that game, Tim, and then you come back the very next week and let's say Jordan does play, now you're not going to be able to structure the offense the way you had it before with him rolling out a lot and all that stuff. You want to protect him in the pocket. We talked about it. minimal snaps under center, right? Keep him from having to bend that knee. Just have him stand up and short passing game. Pick them apart, right? Work it that way. And be able to step up in the pocket too and hit some of those intermediate throws. But as far as that boot action, you may be a little hindered in that regard. But
I think if anything, this is a massive wake up call for that offensive line. Those guys got to know how scary that was and why it happened. Why were we even in that situation? Why is Jordan getting wrapped up low and getting hit up high? It's a dumpster fire at the line. You guys are missing your assignments. Do your job and protect the quarterback. We don't have this problem. So I think the O-line is on notice after week one. And, even in tragedy, there can be triumph. And I think, the best out of a bad situation is a lot of these O-linemen have certainly learned what they did wrong there against Philly. And I fully expect it to be corrected immediately.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Also in the chat here, let's see. We got MG Toe Legion. I think I'm saying that right. If our run blocking is the same as the second half, we will be okay. It did seem to settle down quite a bit, didn't it? Now, keep in mind, too, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy here, but, it was a close game, but as the passing game started to heat up, that really does take away from the defense's ability to just key in on the run, right? I kind of felt like there was a little bit of that. They started to key in on the passing game a little bit because Jordan started to heat up. But, yeah, they definitely blocked a lot better in the second half in the run game for sure. There was a lot more cutback lanes, too, there for Josh Jacobs to hit some of those big plays. Coach Monk in the chat said, you guys have a good night. Let's go watch Mr. Rogers. Hope he does well. Hope he does good. It sounds like the majority of people are actually rooting for Aaron tonight. I love to see that, man, because a couple years ago, it wasn't quite like that. And I'm sure Coach Monk still liked Aaron back then. But it's cool to see Packer fans kind of rooting him on now that there's not draft picks.
I put it in the same category as Tay. Tay went to the Raiders. You hate to see him go. That was a tough situation for us all. But you can't tell me when you see a Raiders game on or you see a little highlight reel that you're not looking at your boy Tay Adams and wishing him well. And honestly, I feel the same way about Aaron. Aaron put in the work, man. He gave us a hell of a ride here in Titletown. And, there's a part of him that's always going to be a Packer. And as fans, we feel the same way. So I think it's absolutely awesome that people are, looking for Aaron to do well over there. And like I said, he's in the AFC, go ahead and win 15 games. Absolutely. Have fun.
And then let's meet him in a Super Bowl and just absolutely smoke his head.
That's right. Then that's where all that fan stuff that rooting for him ends in the Super Bowl for sure.
Right. Drew D in the chat. Good to see you, bud. He said, how awesome was it that McKinney introduced himself with an early INT? Drew, it wasn't just an INT, man. That was Tampa 2.
Yeah.
He covered his assignment, read the quarterback, came back across the field.
Yeah.
And picked that. It was
he
unbelievable.
Touched every blade of grass on that field on that play.
And there was no hesitation. It was just like smooth. All right, back pedal, half, bang. Where's the quarterback? Yep. Oh, you go, okay, yeah, let me just run over here 20 yards and snatch this ball out of the air.
Yeah, nothing like right away showing the fan base, hey, this is why I'm here. This is why I was brought in.
Definitely.
I mean, you talk about a guy with sheer athletic ability combined with the FBI. Holy cow. That's Xavier McKinney. He knew that was coming the whole way. And again, I gotta throw some props to Quay Walker on that Tampa 2 set. Because if he misses that assignment, man, that play ends a lot differently. That play probably ends in a completion and then X making the tackle or something. So great work there.
Because if they're not playing, and great call too, if they're not playing Tampa 2, they seen something. And listen, I say Tampa 2 because the mock covered deep third. It could have been a mid-read play. It could have been a cover 2 mid-read, which essentially turns into Tampa 2 if the number 2 goes vert, right? That's somewhat matchy, but it could have just been a straight Tampa 2 call too. That could have been the case. But, it was just a phenomenal play by Quay as well. Eric Suttle in the chat said, I want to see Jacobs and Wilson both get 25 carries next week and Willis with 10 pass attempts. If he gets us a dub, Eric, sign me up, man.
That's right. That's right. We'll take it. A win is a win, right? Final score doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you got it. Just get the dub.
Yeah. We got 12 on the field suited up. Omer says, want to see A-Rod upset San Francisco. Yeah. This is one of the games I marked on the calendar, man, no doubt.
Yeah, see, that's why I highlighted that because, however you feel about A-Rod or not, put that aside, you can't possibly want to see the 49ers win tonight.
No,
Come on now.
No way, no how. All right, let's go rapid fire on some cool stuff that came down the pike here, Tim. We got about 13 minutes. You got 13 minutes in you, man?
Yeah, I got it, man. Let's go.
All right, here we go. This was really cool. Came out from PFF. PFF Green Bay Packers, the highest graded players in week 1 versus the Eagles. Zach Tom, 92.0. Jayden Reed, 89.2. Elton Jenkins, 78.4. Xavier McKinney, 76.2. And Jordan Morgan, 67.7. Guys, Jordan Morgan, albeit he didn't play like the entire game, but the fact that he's the fifth highest Green Bay Packer with a minimum of 25 snaps, that we always talk about it, Tim. If a rookie grades out in the 60s or higher, according to PFF, they tend to turn into a pretty damn good ball player. That this list right here, and think about this: Zach Tom in his 3rd year in the league, Jayden Reed his 2nd year in the league, Elton's the grizzled vet, Xavier McKinney somewhat of a veteran, Jordan Morgan a rookie. 3 of those 5 players, extremely young players for the Packers, man. Pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a while since we've had an O-lineman grade out like that as a rookie. You know, as a matter of fact, it probably was Zach Tom was the last time we had that. I mean, don't quote me on that, but look at this list, man. We're going to see this. This is going to be a trend going forward. You know, these guys right here. I just see the list and I see dog, and dog. Jordan Morgan, I think he's gonna turn out to be a valuable piece for us. We went back and forth, after draft day, and is he going to play at left tackle? Are we going to put him at right tackle? Where is he going to go? I mean, he may find a home at right guard here in this offense, and I think with more reps, he could definitely go ahead and snatch that spot and be your starting right guard going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Ron Sample said Bullard gave a lesson about keeping your head on a swivel to A.J. Brown. Did you see that?
Oh, man, we'll always have that. Yes. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Ron. That was Bullard I almost hit my head on the ceiling fan when I jumped up watching that play. Bullard lowered the boom.
He did not have a good game, but that right there, hey, great play, Bull. And the way he stood over him, like, that's right, Bob. That's right.
Yeah, just enough little extra not to get the flag for taunting, but just enough to let you know that I'm there. I'm in that ear hole of your helmet all day long. I love it.
Absolutely, man. Coach Lynn in the chat said, does Lloyd get activated this week? That's a great question, Tim.
Yeah.
We've got Marshawn, and this is if Jordan doesn't play this week, and I think we would all agree that's the way it's leaning. Let me check in on the poll question real quick. Let's see what we got here. Let me do this real quick. I want to see where everybody's at. The poll question now, we are how many votes in? 95 votes in. When do you think Jordan Love will return? Leading the way, week 4 versus the Vikings at 69%. Week 3 versus the Titans at 22%. This week versus the Colts, 8%. So I think the entire fan base pretty much agrees for the most part that little to no chance Jordan will play this week, but it starts ramping up starting next week. But
hey, let's go. Activate Marshawn Lloyd. Let's do it.
Yep.
And if the wheels fall off with Malik at quarterback, then we throw Reed back there with Jacobs, Marshawn Lloyd, and Emmanuel Wilson, run a little wildcat, and let's just manufacture yards and points, man. That's all we got to do. That's the only goal, right? Is just, get a win at home on Sunday. That's all we got to do. Keep the season going. 1-1 going into week 3. That's what we want.
Definitely. So obviously the talk of the night was Jayden Reed. Jayden Reed, just an absolute stud. And this isn't just a one-hit thing here. He led the Packers in receiving yards, in receptions last year. The guy is just he showed up week 1 here and just absolutely dominated. The 33rd team tweeted out every player that averaged 10-plus yak yards after catch in week 1. All right. Number 1 in the league, Jayden Reed, 14.3.
Here's a guy.
Number 2 was Jameson Williams at 13.7. Number 3 was Tyler Johnson, 13.2. Number 4, A.J. Brown with 13. And then Tariq Hill at 12.1. So Jayden Reed leading the league in 10-plus yak in week 1. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, some people were going, okay, that's a one-trick pony. He can catch after or run after the catch, that type of thing. Check this out. Separation yards, 33rd team. separation leaders on targets among wide receivers in week 1 so far with a minimum of 3 targets. Number 1 in the league, Jayden Reed, 5.3 yards. Number 2, Jamar Chase, 4.4 yards. Number 3, Devontae Adams, 4.4 yards. Yep. Number 4, Devon Veal, I think is how you say it, 4.4 yards. Number 5, Brandon Cooks at 4.3 yards. Jayden Reed leading the league week 1 so far amongst wide receivers in separation. What that says is he's a yak king, and he can also create separation in his route running ability. Now, some of that is LaFleur drawing up a hell of a pass scheme, right, and scheming these guys open. But Jayden Reed creating that kind of separation, absolutely awesome. I threw my own little wrinkle in here too, Tim. I had to get a cool little stat applied here. I want to give credit to Eric Sutherland. Pretty sure it was Eric Sutherland in a YouTube comment. Shout out to Eric, who pointed this out to me, and I went through a tweet out. Jayden Reed versus the Eagles, 171 total yards and 2 touchdowns equaling 12 points. The Chicago Bears' entire offense versus the Titans, 148 yards and 3 field goals, only equaling 9 points.
The Bears still suck.
Jayden Reed versus the Eagles completely outperformed the Chicago Bears' entire offense. What's crazy is because that damn Kentucky Wildcat, Will Levis, threw that pick 6 and gave the game away in the last quarter, they still got the dub. We got to mention it. If you see it, you got to say it. But, Tim,
yeah,
that had me rolling. I was like, holy – at first, I got to be real. Eric, I love you. But I was like, I don't know, man. That seems far-fetched. I went and looked at the stat column. I went, holy cow, he is right.
Yep.
It's phenomenal.
He's special, man. Jayden, well, Eric's special too. We all know that. But Jayden Reed
on this show.
Jayden Reed is just phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you say? Just give him more targets, man. More targets.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. We just had kickoff in San Francisco. Aaron Rodgers going out on the field right now. We're going to hit one more topic here, and then we'll wrap this puppy up. Actually, we got a couple more screen grabs. We want to hit this stuff in rapid fire. So about Caleb Williams, this is what you've seen in the preseason. Michael Lombardi pointed out the Bears fans absolutely attacked him over it. I pointed it out. The Bears fans absolutely attacked me over it. They showed one highlight throw from Caleb Williams, and everybody was like, oh, my God, he's phenomenal. His stats were horrible. He didn't play within the scheme of the offense. ML Football tweeted this out. Historic. Desmond Ridder and Caleb Williams are the only 2 quarterbacks in modern NFL history to have attempted 25-plus passes in their debut game and thrown for less than 100 yards. Caleb and Ridder. The only 2 quarterbacks in the modern NFL history to have attempted 25-plus passes in their debut game and threw for less than 100 yards. So the Bears got the dub. Yes, they did. But I'm telling you, man, and I want to say this about the Bears. Their defense is legit. Their defense looks phenomenal. Top 3, top 5 defense possibly this year. Caleb Williams, if the number 1 overall pick, this so-called generational talent, is the reason that they can't get over the hump, Tim, I'm here for that kind of laughter, bro. I'm just telling you right now. So
absolutely. I do think, though, with you brought this up last night on the stream, man. Watching that game, I only got to see a little bit of the first half of the Bears game on Sunday. Chicago's defense is real. That defense is the real deal. I'm not saying we should be intimidated or afraid or anything like that, but you can't write the Bears completely off because they have a legit defense. And any team that's got a legit defense has got a chance to win ball games. And that comeback win against Tennessee is proof of that right there. Their defense went out and got it done. They certainly didn't get any help from Caleb Williams in the offense in that game. So worth noting as Packer fans here in the division, we can't take the Bears defense lightly this year at all because they're going to give teams problems for sure.
3rd and 3 there for Aaron. Lazard runs a little sit, drop pass. It was right in the bread basket too. Alan Lazard still doing Alan Lazard things out there for the Jets, man. All right. Next topic here, Tim. We got 3 minutes, rapid fire. Tucker Kraft, this is PFF Green Bay Packers tweeted out. Tucker Kraft is the Packers' tight end 1. Immediate fantasy takeaways from Packers Eagles. We talked about it going into the season. I felt like Tucker Kraft was going to be your number 1 tight end. because he does everything well, right? He does everything good. He can play attached. He can flex. He can play you. He's got to be the tight end one. Musgrave, more of your flex, your receiving top tight end, right?
Yep.
The fact that PFF Green Bay Packers acknowledge that, kind of like, okay, so I'm not the only one who's seeing this, right? Paul Brettel tweeted out, he actually put a tweet out earlier that says, as John Dunn says, playing tight end is a three-phase deal. For Kraft, it's that well-rounded skill set that led him to significantly out-snapping Musgrave. Quote, I think he's a complete tight end, and I think he's only scratching the surface. Now, he quote tweeted that, Paul Brettel did, and said, LaFleur says they're going to continue to work both Musgrave and Kraft, and the snap counts will flow with that depending on the game plan. And what they're meaning there, Tim, obviously, is when you got a game where you're going to be playing 11 personnel, the majority of the time, probably going to put Kraft out there. If you've got a defense that you're facing a defense that you want to expose with a flex tight end, probably give Kraft a breather, throw Musgrave out wide. And then if you're playing a team, obviously, where it makes sense to lean on 12 personnel and run the rock, just like the Colts game coming up, I kind of feel like that might be one of those. You'll probably see both of those tight ends in the lineup. So I don't know about you, man, but Tucker Kraft, he's got me fired up. Listen, he didn't grade out well. Another Yak King, though. Great play on that drag, taking it for, what was it, 29 yards, I think it was, 26 yards, something like that, and set up a score. That was the play that we showed that led to, I think, the 2-yard touchdown pass to Christian Watson. So we chose to show that play on that drive as opposed to the 2-yard touchdown pass because, again, that's what Chalk talks about is what plays, what happened, why did it happen, what are the most important plays that had the significant role in the outcome of the game. But what do you think about our boy Tucker Kraft, man? He seems to be stepping into his own.
Tuck Norris, man, the Swiss Army knife of the offense. I love it. I've always felt that way. I think like Musgrave is, he's a big receiver. That's what he is. That's how he's utilized a lot. Tucker Kraft, man, that guy is just pure tight end, almost prototypical. And we were concerned about him, as a rookie. We didn't know how he was going to progress. We actually thought Musgrave might have had the edge on him there in the early going. And he certainly turned out to be just a great pro. And you see him involved on all these plays, even when he's not getting a target. He's doing the dirty work. The guy does a little bit of everything. He's blocking. He can be effective in pass pro. He can be effective in the pass game. He can go out and, harvest a deer, have a bush latte, smoke a lung dart, hang out on the truck. What don't you love about this guy? Right. Tuck Norris, man, that's our guy. TE1 for sure.
Definitely. Drew D in the chat said Eric Stokes seemed to play pretty well, or no? I think he did, Drew. I think he was our best cornerback, believe it or not. And I know people are going, oh, no, Jair had the pick. Yes, Jair had the pick. Jair was also a liability on 2 crucial plays, one of which he misses a tackle along the sideline on A.J. Brown. The other was a 67-yard touchdown. If neither of those plays happened, I think the Packers' chances of winning that game increase tremendously. And again, it's not the only 2 plays that determine the outcome of the game. But Stokes, fundamentally sound, man. He may be completely healthy, and we might have something there. I sure hope so.
I think that old adage of you don't hear the cornerback's name usually means he had a good game. I think that really, really applies to Eric Stokes Jr. for sure.
And if I remember correctly, I think PFF had him as the highest graded corner on our team too, Tim, for that game.
Yeah, I believe it. Like I said, the only knock I've got is because, last year the knock was the ball tracking, right? When he was able to get back, it looked like he was pretty good in coverage, but then he'd have trouble locating the ball on a lot of those deep shots and in pass plays. I feel like he's kind of shored that up, but, the issue now seems to be the tackling. I mean, he got absolutely dog walked by Saquon and a couple of the guys from Philly in Friday. And, you got to make those plays, even if you're not. I mean, we know you're a DB. We know you're not going to lower the boom and, lay guys out on every play, but you got to be able to wrap up, and get, at least stop momentum and get a guy down, especially in the open field. I think if he shores that part of his game up, we could see a really phenomenal season from Stokes this year.
And there's no technical approach to Jair's game, and it drives me insane because he's got all the talent in the world. But when you're playing that cover one man look, I heard somebody on a podcast earlier today, Tim, they blamed Javon Bullard on the play. He over pursued. That shouldn't have been a touchdown. That's on the safety. I'm going, Jair they were playing cover one man. So he knows his only help is down the seam.
Yep.
So what you've got to do is you have got to play deep outside technique and funnel it toward the inside, if anywhere. They run a little stop and go, a little out and up route, completely bit on it, cooked. And it wasn't even that he bit on the out and up. When he bit on the out and up, he got his head around like, okay, where's the ball? It's like, bro, you've got to get back. You can't do that, man. You can't. Omer points out Jair gave up over 100+ yards versus Brown. That's just woo.
And as far as the safety over pursuing, usually that only happens because a corner got roasted. If you got a safety that's got to come in fast and hard, somebody probably didn't do their job.
Yeah, exactly. And Greg Rouse will end it here. He says, Carly, can you message Clayton in this chat? Clayton, can you leave the stream open for the New York Jets San Francisco game or make a new one? What I'm going to do, Greg, I can't leave this one open, but I will create I'm going to create another one for tomorrow's show. So you'll see that pop up here real quick. I'll try to do it before I even upload the pod. I can't keep this one going because I got to download the audio from it and get it out there ASAP to everybody wanting to listen to the podcast. So I apologize for that, but look for tomorrow's stream to pop up here within the next 10 minutes. Okay. I'll get that up. I'll prioritize that over getting the pod up real quick. So thank you for understanding there. Let's give a quick shout out to our Super Chats tonight. TC fan, thank you so much, buddy. And Miss Allison Tuckwad, thank you for supporting the stream. We appreciate y'all so much. So with that being said, we're going to get out of here. Y'all enjoy the game. I believe they just forced a turnover. Might have been an interception. Fred Warner, surprise, the best linebacker in the game. But should be a dandy here. We'll see how this goes. Again, actually, it might have been a fumble because they're showing a running back. He looked like me when I forget to take the trash out. Damn, it's Monday, ain't it, Tim? I got to take the trash down.
Oh man, you reminded me too. We got the same trash day, man. I gotta get mine down to the curb too. I
got about 100-yard walk with two big cans, So here we go. Y'all, seriously, thank you so much for supporting the stream, supporting the channel. This was a lot of fun tonight. We'll be back tomorrow to talk more Packers. And again, Greg, I'll get that up for you as soon as we get out of here. Okay. Thank y'all so much.
On the pod.
Thank you for making us part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world and go Pack Go.